A soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I hope all of y'all have had a fantastic Friday, and I appreciate y'all joining me here in the Room to Room Weather Center, especially at 10 o'clock for your Friday. So we have an action-packed broadcast, so let's just hop right into it with our headlines. We're starting off with our Game of the Week highlights presented by our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor. Very excited to see those with y'all. Going to be a good bunch of highlights to witness, but also we have a warm and dry weekend ahead. Notice warm and dry, seeing beautiful conditions, but when will those rain chances return? That's going to be the story not only for this weekend, but going into the work week as we're tracking out a frontal system all the way in the Pacific right now, but could impact us on the latter parts of your work week next week. We're going to continue tracking all of that out here at Mississippi Live Weather. But for now, let's focus on the first 12. We're seeing pretty much clear conditions on the front half of the first 12. Temperatures around 55 degrees, cooling on off towards the low 50s, but starting to see some cloud cover return and probably waking up to pretty much partly cloudy skies all across North Mississippi. Those degrees starting to warm their way up to seeing mid 70s already by the time we reach 11 o'clock. Those above average conditions are definitely here in North Mississippi. But before we focus more on those dry, beautiful conditions here this weekend, let's go to our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, who's ready to give us those Game of the Week highlights.
Caleb, I am live here in Faulkner, and I'm laughing. It's all good. It's all good because the lights just turned off. That shows you the game went by very quickly, and everything is wrapped up now. The field right there behind me. Yeah, you can see pitch black, and I was in there about 1 minute ago. Had to sprint over here to get you guys some light. But if you see that I'm out of breath, that's kind of why. But still an electric atmosphere here in Faulkner today. A big thank you to everyone out there that came and said hello, and it was just a great time here in Tippah County. But Caleb, we know what everyone's here for. Let's go ahead and get into those highlights. As you can see, we are experiencing a beautiful evening in Tippah County for some 1A playoff action on Eagle Field, home of the Faulkner Eagles. The Okolona Chieftains in town to take on the home team, and the home team is that 6-4 Faulkner Eagle team. Going to be a good one between the two teams. Let's go ahead and get into that first drive. Okolona ball, quarterback Jalen Jennings takes the snap and pitches it back to Amarian Wardlaw. He finds the gap down the middle and takes it 10 yards before being tripped up. Wardlaw letting you know, first down Chieftains. Faulkner coach trying to get his defense in order, but they would be no match for Travion Vance. He takes a handoff into the heart of that defense, and we get a 20-yard gain, advancing the chains once again. Third and goal, Chieftains trying to strike first. Jennings would take the snap, hands it off, but the ball gets lost in transit. Fumble jumped on by the Eagles defense. A big response from Faulkner. The Faulkner front making that goal line stand. Faulkner, wanting to show off their own ground game, gives it to Anthony Morgan, and the Eagles' single-season touchdown record holder gets the first down and then some, powering through that defense. Eagles quarterback Nolan Ashley deciding to show off the arm. He takes the snap, scramble right, throws a fadeaway pass right to Okolona's Jadance Heron. He would have to quite the Looney Tunes type return, going right, then going left, juking a few defenders, and he would finally be brought down after a 20-yard return. The sophomore coming up with the stop. Faulkner coach clearly upset they couldn't capitalize on that turnover. His defense would hold the Chieftains to a fourth down. But that didn't matter. Okolona's Heron continues to make plays, takes the end-around sweep to the left side, and there he would go. Up the sideline, getting away from a tackle, spinning inside, finally brought down at the 10-yard line. Chieftains trying to actually finish the drive this time. They turn to their senior leader, Jennings. He'd take the snap, play action, somehow gets away from the sack, runs up the gut, stays on his feet all the way to the end zone. How on earth did he stay up? A play only Lamar Jackson could make, but hey, he did it. Okolona fans clearly electric, repping O-Town with some pride. Just listen to that energy. And they're the away team, by the way. Unreal energy. 3 and out for the Eagles. Okolona ball. Jennings in shotgun, takes the snap, throws a screen to the right to Jaden Grady, and then it became the Grady show. He'd take it up the left sideline, following his blocker, stiff arm an Eagle in his path, then just wave goodbye because that man is gone. 65 yards for another Chieftain touchdown. Sideline absolutely lit as they take a commanding lead. Okolona saying we need more cowbell, and hey, those fans, of course, deliver. Faulkner desperately needing a response. Ashley would run the halfback screen to Morgan, fooling the entire defense. He'd go up the left sideline for a 15-yard gain. Morgan, more like more yards, fights for the first. Chieftain coach upset with his defense, and that defense would stay on their heels. The freshman, Ashley, would throw a strike to Malachi Nunley on a curl route, and he would outrun everybody into the end zone. Big response from the Eagles, finally getting on the board. As you can see, got to do the handshake, just ready to get on the board. Faulkner cheerleaders happy to finally have something to cheer for. 13-6 with 2:46 left in the second. Eagles staying Eagle tough. Okolona would keep it with the hot hand. Jennings would take the snap, fake the handoff, somehow escape all the sack attempts, and work his way up the field for another big play, a 15-yard gain. This man, he's just insane. O-Town showing up and showing out both on and off the field with their fans. Jennings, looking to make plays once again, would follow up the big run play with the big pass play, scramble right out of the pocket and find Grady streaking across the end zone. And as you can see right here, in for his second touchdown of the day. Touchdown, Chieftains. This offense cannot be tamed. Chieftains take the commanding lead. Throw them O's up, O-Town. First half is all about the Chieftains. Faulkner trying to respond before half. They'd play some backyard football, handing it off to Morgan, and he shows off the arm. The lefty connecting with Nunley, and he would be tripped up at the 10. Faulkner finally getting a rhythm, both in the stands and on the field, but Okolona defense would step up. Ashley takes the snap, tries to escape, but the D-line too dominant and causes a fumble. Ashley would fall on it, preventing his second turnover. The half would end with Okolona up 20-6. Now, Okolona would come out on top in this game, 40-20. Okolona advances to the third round of the 1A playoffs. And I guess history does repeat itself, being that they took home the victory earlier on this season, now making it 2-0 against the Faulkner Eagles. And whether they're at home or away, no match for that Okolona team. Incredible season for the Faulkner Eagles, though. Finishing first in their district and getting their first round win in the 2025 playoffs. So definitely not going home empty-handed. A big-time season for the Eagles for sure. And honestly, I was talking to a few of the fans. Their quarterback's a freshman, and they got a good running back coming in from 8th grade. So they're going to be a young team developing over the next 4 years. So I told the fans, here in 4 years, I expect them to see them making a big run in the playoffs, maybe 2028, 2029. We can be patient enough for that, right? Then it will be North Tippa and that whole group getting together in the county. Should be a good team and maybe bring home a state playoff in the latter part of the 2020s. But the Okolona Chieftains, they can keep celebrating, making their way into the third round, and this magical season is not over yet. 5-6 in the regular season, but now 2-0 in the playoffs, and that's the record that matters. They're, of course, trying to make that 3-0 next week, playing next Friday to hopefully advance or win and advance to the North Half Championship. But I know the Okolona Chieftains won, so in honor of O-Town, O-Town! There you go. Yes, big time dub from the Okolona Chieftains. Congratulations to them. And also a big thank you to the Faulkner Eagles for having us. Just an absolutely amazing scene, electric across the stadium, and so great meeting all of you here in Tippa County. So go out, cheer on those local teams, and we'll have more from our highlights here in Tippa County, here at Faulkner, with our Band of the Week and Cheer Squad of the Week. So stay tuned here in Mississippi Live Weather at 10. But Caleb, it's cold now. I know it's in the 50s, which is slightly above average, but it's definitely a little bit cooler than what you'd expect. So long sleeves still necessary for any of those late night plans, and into our weekend, those temperatures continue to get even better. You'll have the latest on the forecast, but this wraps it up here in Faulkner from our Mississippi Live Weather Game of the Week. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor for Mississippi Live Weather.
Now, he mentioned short sleeves, didn't mention pants, even though that is definitely one of the things that you're going to want still wearing those shorts out there. He continues to impress. But anyways, taking a live look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar, we are seeing these clear conditions Gabe was talking about, still feeling these above average conditions, but at least we're not seeing anything active going on radar. And that is a good thing to see as we continue to wrap up our Friday and get ready for the weekend ahead. And one of the reasons that we're experiencing that is because of this high pressure system all the way out in Georgia. That's what's causing this southerly wind, this motion, and I can kind of visualize this for you, because it's fun to do this when you have the ability to. But it has this clockwise motion along this high pressure system, and that's what's bringing all of this wind from the south. That's why we're pretty much seeing just southerly motion all across North Mississippi. And once we get this front kind of moving on through the latter part of our weekend, that wind direction going to change from southerly more to northerly, but that still will take a while. Right now we are seeing southerly motion due to that high pressure system all the way out in Georgia. Kind of fun to see something like that still have an impact on us here in the North Mississippi region. But Futurecast showing that southerly motion all the way from this high pressure system out in Georgia, but still clear skies on the early parts of our evening or overnight hours. It's not until post midnight, once we get towards 2 to 3 o'clock, we really start to see that cloud cover build on in, kind of pushing in from the north, pushing against that southerly motion, and we're going to see a cloudy start to our day. But notice, already starting to thin out and just kind of move on out as we get closer towards those afternoon hours. Going to be a cloudy front half to your Saturday, but also a mostly clear back half to your Saturday as well. Best of both worlds, going to feel amazing regardless as you have your any Saturday plans outdoors. It will feel amazing, and we can see that on the next 24. Definitely still above average, but notice we're starting off the day around 53 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning, seeing those partly cloudy conditions. But as we continue to warm up, we're going to start seeing upper 70s in the afternoon hours, but also a clearing take place as well, seeing mostly clear conditions by 3, 6 o'clock. But once we get towards that 10 o'clock broadcast time, pretty much seeing clear skies yet again tomorrow night. So definitely going to be a beautiful Saturday here in North Mississippi. Also a beautiful Sunday. We're going to be discussing what the rest of your weekend looks like, but also talking about those rain chances. When are they going to come back in the forecast? What are we confident on? Which days? All that's going to be included coming up in 1 minute.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
At Room to Room, there's no need to wait. Black Friday deals are going on now.
Only $9.99 for a set of 2 leather pushback recliners. Plus, grab this 3 recliner power sectional for only $25.99.
Room to Room Tupelo, where we know there's no place like your home.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, there you have it. There was your Spirit Squad of the Week. Stay tuned because we also got to give you your Band of the Week coming up towards the end of this broadcast. But talking about weather, we're seeing temperatures around 56 degrees right now. Still that southerly motion coming out of the south around 6 miles per hour. Still seeing clear and calm conditions at this point in the evening. We're still seeing calm conditions pretty much all night long, just not going to stay as clear either. Futurecast still showing that southerly motion, clear skies, but we're also going to start to see cloudier skies by the time we make it further and further into our Saturday. You can already see that cloud cover starting to push in, especially as we get towards 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Going to wake up to some partly cloudy skies, especially the further north you go if you wake up early. If you wake up early down here in the southern portion, like Golden Triangle region, you're going to see clear skies and that cloud cover move in after you are finished drinking that coffee and eating that breakfast. But low temperatures are going to still be above average for this time of year, pretty much low 50s across most of North Mississippi. You can even see 48 out there in Hamilton, but also as compared to the low 50s, you see 59 out there in South Haven, almost on the cusp of those low 60s as well. So definitely across the board, but pretty much above average all across North Mississippi, nowhere near those lows we were experiencing earlier on in the work week. But coming back to Futurecast, we can see those partly cloudy skies blanketing us across North Mississippi. Still some gaps, which is why it's partly cloudy, not mostly cloudy or overcast skies. But as we continue into our Saturday, going to continue to see some clearings as we push further and further into the afternoon hours. Lunchtime, still seeing those partly cloudy conditions across most of North Mississippi. For those in the southern portions of the Delta, you are already getting to experience some sunny, beautiful, and clear conditions. But as we continue to push into the afternoon hours, most of us will start seeing those clear conditions return as well. We're going to be talking about those clear conditions not only during the 6 o'clock, but the 10 o'clock broadcast time tomorrow. So enjoy the cloud cover because that's pretty much all we're going to be able to see in the sky as we continue into the weekend ahead. High temperatures are going to definitely still be above average, pretty much upper 70s across most of North Mississippi. You can see 75 in Hamilton, Red Bay, Iuka, 76 in Corinth and Boonville. But other than that, we're pretty much upper 70s across the rest of our viewing area. 79 in the Golden Triangle region, 79 Aliceville, Macon, 79 Kosciuszko, Greenwood, Belzona, and Greenville on the cusp of those low 80s. But thankfully, those heat and seas keeping us right there with those actual temperatures, not boosting us up. So we're not feeling that summertime mugginess, humidity. We are definitely finally in fall, getting closer and closer towards the winter season as well. I know we felt it earlier on in this work week. So thankfully, we are sticking right there with those actual temperatures, enjoying these beautiful conditions as we continue into our Saturday. But let's enjoy these beautiful conditions with some football action. Take a look at our SEC football forecast presented by Carl Hogan Toyota. We have the Oklahoma Sooners taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide, starting off around 78 degrees outdoors with those mostly clear conditions out there in Tuscaloosa, but seeing clear conditions pretty much for the rest of the game, finishing off around 67 degrees outdoors. So definitely a beautiful game ahead of y'all out there in Tuscaloosa. Should be a good one as well. Mississippi State Bulldogs going up towards Columbia, Missouri to face on the Missouri Tigers, starting off around 66 degrees, seeing clear skies all night long, and then finishing up in the upper 50s as well. A beautiful football weather forecast right there. Hopefully the Bulldogs can come home with another dub and become bowl eligible at that point. So that would be a huge milestone for the Bulldogs this weekend. And of course, the Ole Miss Rebels hosting Florida Gators as they travel to Oxford, seeing temperatures 70 degrees, cooling on off towards the low 60s as well. Starting to see those mostly clear conditions, especially with it being in the evening. That cloud cover already moving on out of North Mississippi, allowing for some beautiful conditions to be felt for that Ole Miss game. But coming back to Futurecast, we can still see that southerly motion all across North Mississippi. But I keep emphasizing the southerly motion because we're not going to be experiencing that all weekend long, and that's due to that cold front. Here we go, starting to move across our viewing area. This is in the early morning hours, like just 30 minutes into your Sunday at 12:30. Starting to see that cold front get closer and closer towards North Mississippi, also bringing in some cloud cover and maybe the chance of a few sprinkles, offering some lift to that moisture in our atmosphere. But that cold front, not only will it bring that cloudy conditions with it, but also change our wind direction coming out of the north as well. And that's also going to keep us dry. So that cloud cover kind of moving across North Mississippi, but also getting pushed out as well as we're starting to see that northerly motion return to North Mississippi, allowing us to feel these dry conditions and not feel, I can't say muggy or humid because it's not in fall, but we're still going to feel very dry as we continue into our Sunday. Beautiful conditions. This is Sunday afternoon and heading into the evening hours as well. Maybe some cloud cover trying to build in just a little bit, and you can see some hints of some moisture in the southern portion of the Delta, but definitely across the Mississippi River in Arkansas and even on the border of Louisiana and Mississippi as well. But as you can tell here, we are still staying dry as we continue into the weekend ahead, but maybe seeing some of those chances of those rain showers into your Monday and Tuesday, which you'll see on the 7-day forecast momentarily. But those high temperatures, you can definitely tell where that cold front reached you sooner rather than later, seeing almost upper 60s, 70 out there in South Haven, 71 Holly Springs, Corinth, Boonville, Iuka. But for those in the southern portion of our viewing area, 79 out there in Aliceville, Macon, Columbus, 78 in Starkville. So definitely still a wide range. All of us in the 70s, all of us above average pretty much. But definitely a beautiful forecast continues into the weekend ahead. Those heat and seas keeping us right there with those actual temperatures. We are not muggy, we are not humid. That dry air helping us out, pretty much try to cool us off just a little bit as you wrap up the weekend here in North Mississippi. But that 7-day forecast shows those dry conditions for your Saturday and Sunday. High of 78 for your Saturday, mid 70s for your Sunday. Then we have lingering chances of rainfall for your Monday and Tuesday, around 20%, not that confident, not going to be a widespread event. If you get some rainfall, that is amazing. Go to the lottery because you will be one of the lucky few that gets it. Wednesday, seeing those dry conditions return as well, but Thursday and Friday, that's a different story. Starting to see a cold front make its way through North Mississippi. This will be a widespread event where most of us will see those rain chances. You can tell we're more confident on it occurring Friday. This would be in the early morning hours. Also, you can kind of imagine a 50% right in between Thursday and Friday, that cold front moving on across our viewing area in the latter parts of your Thursday, overnight into your Friday, and affecting us Friday morning. We're going to be really paying attention to these rain chances, not only this weekend, but into the work week ahead as we continue to track this out. Again, this system is all the way out in the Pacific right now, just getting closer into the United States. So it still has a ways to go. And every model run we get is very important as we get more of a timing as it gets closer and closer towards North Mississippi. But like I promised, got to show you the band squad of the week because right now it is the weekend. That is a ways away. Definitely something that we can continue tracking out all weekend and all week long. Here, take a look at your band of the week. Well, there you have it. Faulkner was your band of the week for this week's Game of the Week highlights, band, cheer squad of the week. Definitely a great night here across North Mississippi. Here's the QR code for both iOS and Android. We appreciate all the support and downloads you've given us, and we want to make sure that app is top notch as we continue into the weekend ahead. We appreciate all the feedback you give us so we can continue keeping you informed. And of course, to stay informed, the best way to do so is with our live shows. Here's the broadcast schedule, but thankfully you have made it to yet another weekend here in North Mississippi. So it will just be 6 and 10 tomorrow night with me coming in to update you on those rain chances on the back half of the work week, but also talking about those beautiful conditions that we get to experience now here in North Mississippi. So go out, enjoy the rest of y'all's Friday evening, enjoy a partly cloudy start to your Sunday, eventually turning clear. And I will see y'all back here in the Room to Room Weather Center at 6 and 10.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.